Hey, it's Chris with PhotoDabbler.com. In this video, we're just going to create some abstract backgrounds, basically with just our brush tool, and we're going to use the liquify tool and some gradient maps to color it, or the color fill. All right, so basically, I just have a document that's 1920 by 1080. You can make whatever one you want. It has a black background. To start off, we're just going to create a new layer. And we grab our brush tool by hitting B on the keyboard or hovering over here to brush tool. And we have black selected. I'm going to turn this background layer off so we can kind of see what we're doing. And left and right bracket keys will resize your brush. Opacity and flow at 100%, and we're just going to make some brush strokes like this. It doesn't matter what they look like. You can just add as you wish. And then we'll switch to white, put some white in here, maybe bring our brush size down, do a number 7, a question mark, a line, whatever. Let's go in here, let's go into a gray, and then maybe fill in here a little bit. Right here, all these transparent pixels that we're seeing. It really doesn't matter, this part. It's just, we're just laying down some gray, white, and black. And you can just do white and black too if you want. Let's go ahead and hit X on our keyboard. We'll add some more black here. Maybe let's make our brush a little bigger, put some spots in here. Some really light, faint spots here. We could change our hardness of our brush too and do some weirdness here. I'm not sure what's going to happen here because I've never done it that way, but they're in there, and there you have it. So there is a bunch of transparency in here, as you see if we zoom out. There's transparent pixels in here, but that is why we have our background layer as a black. Let's go ahead and unlock it, and that fills it in. So if we hold down Shift, select both of our layers, and then we can hit Control or Command E, that will merge them together. So we have this beautiful looking thing here. Now what we want to do is, I'm going to go ahead and hold down Alt and make a copy. And this is just going to be, we'll just say backup. You don't have to do this because it takes like 1 minute to just lay some paint down. Alright, let's go into our filter. Let's go to liquify. And you could also convert that to a smart object too if you wanted to. Now I'm going to, if we hold down Alt and scroll on your mouse wheel, it will make your canvas zoom in and zoom out. Okay, so that's a cool little tip. Alright, so we have our brush size, and you can play around with this. Let's just say we want to do about 722. Make sure it's 7. No, I'm just kidding. You can make it whatever size you want. And we're just going to kind of play with this a little bit. And basically you're just kind of smudging around these pixels with your liquify tool to make any kind of design you want. Just kind of go back and forth, maybe make it smooth up top, maybe not, maybe go like this. I mean, there's no right, there's no wrong. It's just kind of creating some funkiness. Alright, so let's just say this is what we want. We'll say this is what we want. Or maybe it's not. Maybe we want to go back a little bit. If you click on your reconstruct tool here, you slide it all the way to 0. This is where we started. And you can kind of just go through, move your slider till you see something maybe that you like a little better than what you ended up with. It's all the way at 100. Maybe I like what was going on here at amount 59 or 64. But anyways, you get the idea. You can kind of struggle through, scroll, say, okay, I like this. Okay, and we'll go ahead and hit OK. And then to accept that, we'll just go ahead and hit OK again. So we have this design here. And it's basically just a bunch of brush strokes swirled around with your liquify tool. And we want to add some color to it, so we can just go here. You can add gradient, but actually I meant to hit solid color. And first I'm just going to hit OK. And then we're going to go back and we can put this on color. Alright. That way, when you change your colors, you can see what happens. Okay, and this is kind of why we did the gray, white, and black. Okay, I kind of like this. I like this purple. Or maybe we go up a little bit and get into some darker magenta or pink. Alright, so we hit OK, and that's basically how you do it. You can go a couple different other steps too, and maybe just click your color layer and your swirly layer and convert it to a smart object, and then make a copy of it, Control or Command J. And then we can take this color fill copy and then maybe just hit Control T, right click, and go on warp. And maybe just drag your corner like so. We're just kind of creating something weird here. It doesn't really matter, just move some stuff around. Okay, and I think that will work. We'll go ahead and hit our check mark to accept it. We'll turn this back on, and then on this one you can change different blend modes to create different looking, just weird effects. I think I like it on screen, and maybe we'll bring our opacity down a little bit, and we have this. And now we could, I'm just going to destructively merge these together with Control E. We have that. We do have some pixels happening over here, so let's hit Control T, and we'll just kind of spread it out a little bit. You can rotate it, spread it out. I mean, you can make different things happen. Okay, hold down Shift, rotate it like this. That's kind of back to normal. We'll hit that. Once you're happy with it, I'm not really happy with this, but it's just showing you how to do it. You could do a last thing and go in your filter and go into your camera raw, and that will open it up, and you can change, contrast a little bit, exposure. You can add some white balance, your temperature, some clarity. You can add some grain. You can add vignettes. You can mess around with the color mixer. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do. Alright, so once you're in camera raw, we can go into basic. Your temperature slider, this cools it off. This warms it up. Just adding blue and yellow. You can mess around with your tint also. I mean, that looks pretty cool here. We can bring down exposure, maybe add some contrast, add some clarity, maybe add a whole bunch of texture or take some texture out. Either way, this is just going to be all to taste, but it's just a lot of things that you can do. We can increase vibrance or decrease it. Bring up our highlights and make our whites brighter. Take our highlights down, shadows. You just get it to how you want. It's all personal preference and taste, however you like. Let's go ahead and do that. We can go into our detail, and if we crank our noise reduction up, it will kind of smooth everything out. Okay, we can do that. We add sharpening. If you go into your effects here, you can add some grain to it. Maybe you like that look. Instead of going into add noise in the Photoshop, this is a lot better way to do it. Just add grain, you can add your roughness, you can add your size, and that will do it like that. double click on those things to reset everything. We could also add a vignette. Go super strong vignette. You can add a white vignette, whatever you want to do. All right, so once you get that how you want it, you can mess around with curves too. I mean, once you get the design done, it's not completely done, right? Let's bring our noise reduction and our detail all the way up. So this, we'll just say this is our finished, because I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. We could go in our color mixer and then saturation. So we have all these purples and magenta looking colors, right? So we can mess around with saturation. You could also mess around with your luminance, make them brighter, darker. So once you have it done, it's not done. You can make so many different changes just in your camera raw filter. Let's just say that's good, and we'll go ahead and hit OK. And that is going to be our final result. And that's basically how you turn this into a cool looking abstract background. Now this area here I would probably try to redo, or maybe you could use your smudge or blur tool and kind of mess around with his edges there. Alright, but that's it. I'll leave a link down below. Actually, I did some other abstract backgrounds that look a lot nicer. You can download them for free and the PSD. I'll just leave a link in the video description. And that's all we have for today. Thanks for watching.